What is going on, my fellow YouTuberians? My name is Scrunt, and today we are back on some MX vs ATV All Out. Now in this video, it will be part 2 of our little tuning series where I will be covering the 4-stroke bikes. So the 250F and also the 450F. Now these bikes really didn't need too much tuning, mainly just the suspension and the sprocket. But I am telling you right now, if you do apply these tunes to your bike, you will be seeing a vast improvement in both lap times and control. So let's just jump right into it with the 250F. Just need to let you guys know that these bikes need to be fully upgraded for these tunes to work. So the tires I have all the way to the right so we can abuse that arcade grip that we do get from this game. Now the suspension I did have all the way to the left, but I found that the back end was actually kind of sliding out on corners a little bit. So I did it one tick from all the way to the left, and that seemed to alleviate all those problems. Now for the brakes, I do have them all the way to the left, but for some reason it's showing all the way to the right, just a little glitch. And the sprocket is one tick from all the way to the right plus an extra quarter tick to the right. So I did have it one tick from all the way to the right, and I noticed that the RPMs were just a bit low, so I upped it that extra quarter tick, and that seemed to solve all those RPM problems. Now, if you have your sprocket all the way to the right, you will be hitting rev limiter around some of these corners, and you really don't want to be doing that. Now, for the engine and the clutch, I kept them all the way to the right because, like I said, the 250F and the 450F really did not need too much work. It was just the gearing and also the suspension. So once you get that done, definitely hit up the track. I hit up Anaheim in this next clip just to show you guys that this tune really is viable for both Supercross and Nationals. I was only showing like national tracks last video, but this is me going around the Anaheim Supercross track in first person. I did try to get it in third person, but I've been racing in first person for far too long now, so I can't go back to third person. I can't control it in third person for some reason. It's funny how that happens, isn't it? But this is the 250F right now on Anaheim, and it is an absolute dream to drive right now. Like the 250 and 450F were already in pretty good places, but with this tune, it just makes them so easy to drive and control. Like the minuscule little bumps that kept messing you up, or I guess they were messing me up, and just like those really deep lines and ruts that you try to get into but then you'd hop out because of how like light the suspension was, no longer an issue, especially on the 250. The 250 I would say is probably one of my best tunes just because of the fact that it has a perfect balance of heavy and light. But let's go on to the 450F right now. Once again, tires all the way to the right to abuse that grip, and the suspension is actually half a tick from all the way to the left. So with the 450, I actually wasn't finding that the back end was sliding out too much. I found that it was too heavy. The bike just felt way too heavy. So I upped it half a tick, and that actually solved a lot of those problems while keeping that weight relatively the same, but just enough to really make it a lot better, I guess. I don't know. But the sprocket I do have at half a tick from all the way to the right. This will alleviate you hitting the rev limiter around these corners and still have you in these high RPMs that you really want to be in order to go around the track fast. Now the engine and clutch all the way to the right. These bikes were not difficult whatsoever to tune, just needed a little bit of sprocket and a little bit of suspension work, and that was basically it. Now the 450 is definitely the most used bike in this entire game online. That's the only bike that I ever see online is the 450 and maybe the 125. I never really see the 250. I never really see any other two strokes or anything like that other than the 125 every now and then. It's definitely worth using, both the 250 and the 450. Like if you are dead set on the 450, then this tune is just going to make you so happy, because the 450 was my main bike that I used all the time, and before I got this tune, it was actually fairly difficult to control it because of how light the bike was. But with this tune now, it's like riding a whole nother bike. All these tunes, once you put them on, it's going to be like riding a whole nother bike. All these bikes, after I tuned them, became viable in online races. So 125cc two-stroke, 250cc two-stroke, even the 500cc two-stroke, I am able to race online and get podiums. So before that, it really wasn't able to happen that way. You know, the 250cc two-stroke really was just nothing that you'd ever want to be on, and same with the 500cc two-stroke. But now that I've been tuning them, you know, they actually are viable. I'm still working on the 500cc. because that is just a beast to try and tame, and I've just been doing so many different things with the tuning. It's just, you know, trying to find that perfect little mark that makes it so that we can get the most power and the most grip that we possibly can. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. Hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.